Hello and welcome back to season 4 of Visiting Dugout. You know me, I am Crystal O'Keefe. Today I have Mitch back on to chat about the Phillies. It's been a while, so do you mind just kind of briefly reintroducing yourself?
No problem. As you can see, I am Phillies born in Philly and bred. Spent my initial years as a Phillies fan in Philly, moved to North Jersey, watched the Phillies in '64 lose the pennant to, I believe, the Mets on a snowy screen. And then from then on, I was like, I can't do this. I got to be a Mets fan. So I became a Mets fan. Sorry, people. Um, from 1960, we moved to Jersey in '63, watched them in '64. So through 1988, when I was living in Houston. In '88, the Mets blew it to the Dodgers. I was like, I'm giving up. I was living in Houston. I became an Astros fan. '95, moved back up to Philly, and ever since then, I've been fanatical. My handle is the Phil's fanatic, so that's me.
I
So,
was a brief Phillies fan while Andrew McCutchen was there because I will follow Andrew McCutchen into the dark. So if he's on a team, I'm gonna root for them. Unfortunately, I had to pay attention to the Rangers for about 2 months, worst
mhm.
2 months of my life. But
And
he's free of
unfortunately,
them.
he just got released. He just got released, so he might be done.
Yeah,
He might be done. This
I've
was,
I've I've been watching Andrew McCutchen since I think it was 2007 when he was on the Indianapolis Indians, the minor league Pirates
okay.
affiliate.
Mhm.
I have seen him every single year since 2007, with the exception of the season he was injured and out, and obviously the pandemic season. I had plans for this season, but again, now that he's been DFA'd, I don't know that's going to happen this year. But that's,
He's, he's a beloved player. I mean, everywhere
yes,
he's gone, he enjoys where he is. He embraces the community. Phillies did the same thing with the Phillies. People loved him.
yeah. I went to a Pirates Phillies game in Pittsburgh when he was on the Phillies, and every at bat, he was still getting standing ovations. Like
Yeah,
people were
yeah,
just so happy that he was even around. And I think
right.
that speaks highly of who he is as a person and what he does for baseball.
Absolutely. You know, he's not shy about posting things about his family too. Which I
Yes.
think is like the human side. Fans love that, especially if they are maybe not a great player, but still are honest and endearing, if you will.
And his family's precious. I follow his wife on Instagram. They're
Yeah.
just the cutest. But this sad, I could make an Andrew McCutchen podcast, I think, but this is not the Andrew
Okay.
McCutchen show today. So the Phillies,
Yes.
you're in a tough division because of Atlanta. But what is new with the Phillies this year?
Well, um, what's not new is the lack of run production, put it that way. You know, I was cautiously optimistic about Adolis Garcia, and that was my response right there. A lot of people's response are they're growling because they don't like what is happening. Um, Schwarber had to come back. JT was close to leaving, as we know that. Um, he couldn't only because they had nothing else to provide for the Phillies pitchers to pitch to. Okay. He's doing JT things at the plate on offense, not good, but he's back playing, one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. And the other problem is, in the offseason, Dave Dombrowski didn't provide enough depth for this roster. So if anybody goes down, it's going to be a major problem. So that's what's been new um, for the season to answer your question.
So you mentioned the lack of depth. I always like to kind of ask how the off season went and what teams could do to avoid that problem, first and foremost. So, how do you feel about what the Phillies did in the off season?
Well, they tried to get um why am I drawing a blank from the Mets? Why can't I think about it?
Pete Alonso?
No, no,
No?
the young guy. Why can't I think about it? They were in the running to the end, and I don't know, I have Byron Buxton in my head, but that's a trade. That's a later discussion for the trade deadline. Um, very, my God, why am I drawing a
I know
blank?
now I'm
Oh, Bichette.
blanking.
Oh,
Oh, okay,
Bichette.
okay, okay.
So at
Oh,
the end, the day before, it was, oh my gosh, we're going to get Bo Bichette. We're going to get Bo Bichette. Going to be great. They'll make some corresponding moves. And people were blaming Dave for not getting him, but it does take two to tango. And Bichette, they weren't going to pay him what he wanted for sure. On 1 year deals, which is what is happening these days in Major League Baseball. Um, so that would have been the right-handed power bat that they needed.
hmm
They still don't have it. They thought Garcia was going to be the guy. He's not at this stage of the game. So that's been the biggest disappointment in the from the off season. Like I said before, uh, JT had to come back. They had no other options. Schwarber had to come back. You had to bring him back. There was no option not to bring him back. Um, with Cincinnati in play, they say, yeah, but really not too much. Schwarber wanted to come back, place to, possibly a potential to, to win a series. But, that was the offseason. Otto Kemp is not the guy. Um, we have found out Painter and Crawford coming up. They're young. They're 22, 23 years old. Um, People are frustrated, but they're 22 and 23.
Yep.
Um, and a lot of sports writers a lot of fans are upset with Painter. He's not major league ready. Well, Cole Hamels wasn't ready either. Through his first 9 or 10 starts, he had an ERA over 5. So we just have to give Andrew Painter some time. He's learning every start, except for the last one. He seems to get better. And Crawford's learning the outfield. He's gotten better. It's just this at the plate. He's got to learn how to lift the ball a little bit. Not saying hit home runs, but more line drives. So he's okay, but we're lacking in right-handed power hitting, and that's the biggest issue right now.
So, are you feeling at all confident about this season? Again, it's tough because the Braves are such a powerhouse. And I just did my Visiting Dugout Braves episode kind of early because I'll be in Philly when I would normally be recording that episode. So I kind of got some insight on how they're doing so well. So how are you feeling about the Phillies who are just below them, but like 9.5 games back below them?
Yes. Um, the Braves are going to win the division. At this point, I don't see the Phillies taking over. The Braves are, what are they, 40 and 20 right now? It's an unbelievable pace. They're finding ways to win. Why I still continue to look at the daily scores and hope that the Braves lose and the Phillies pick up a game. So I believe realistically, you're looking at the wild card. Can they get to 87, 88 wins? Yes, I do believe so. Um, because the starting pitching is the key with
Mhm.
this team. Christopher Sanchez goes tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Um, we got Wheeler back, being Zach Wheeler. Gave up four solo homers last game. Didn't help. But um, you've got Nola, who is gotten better. I still predict him to be 10 and 10 overall by the end of the season, but that's better than 2 and whatever it was last year. So he's gotten better. Jesus Luzardo, he's 500 right now. He's pitched better, I believe, than the record shows. If he can step it up a little bit, going into a short series, that's where my confidence is. To get to those short series, get to this 7 game series, and I mean that's a long ways from now. What will happen at the trade deadline? We don't know. Can Garcia pick it up? We don't know. So that's the hope that they can start to get some production from not just Harper and Schwarber, but the rest of the lineup. So confidence level, playoffs, not the division. And then when we will with the pitching staff, like I said, they can go I think they can get to the championship series if they can begin to warm up their bats.
Yeah, also, well, Bryce Harper right now just reminded me. Obviously I was very engrossed in the World Baseball Classic. I want to give Bryce Harper credit where credit is due. He was such a good sport the entire time. And for him to like stay out and congratulate Team Venezuela and just kind of stay out to watch their whole ceremony, I was like, okay, you won me over there, Bryce. That was really cool of you because I mean, other Team USA guys are like immediately ripping off their medals and
Mhm.
pouting in the dugout, and Bryce is out there like cheering for his opponent the whole time and just watching that whole ceremony. And I was like, okay, I liked Bryce Harper before, but that really earned me a lot of or earned him a lot of respect from me. So props to him. He's a little strange. He's a weird egg, but he's a good guy at the end of the day.
You know what? I think what's happened is since he's gotten married and have kids, has had kids, it's obviously calmed him down from his earlier days with the Nationals and going crazy with the umpires and things like that. Um, Listen, he knows he's been in the game for a long time already,
Yeah.
and he knows what's up. Um, he's a stand-up guy. Yes. Does he have his quirks? What star really doesn't have quirks? I mean, okay, I don't know. I don't watch Freddie Freeman that much or Mookie Betts or the Dodgers, but for my team, Harper, he just wants to win a ring. That
Yeah.
is he just wants to win. And I know that I got a feeling he was extremely frustrated with some of the things that Thompson did, their manager at the time. Um, I would just look at his body language after things and decisions were made, and he was not happy.
Mhm.
Um, and the thing that Dave Dombrowski said at the beginning of the preseason with not being elite, I think it was a dumb thing to say, no matter what motivated Bryce. I don't know why as a team president, you call out your best player. I just don't understand that. But he's doing well, Bryce. He's kind of put that behind him. He's done well in terms of not chasing as much as last year. My biggest complaint was, and Turner's doing it, and JT does it, that they chase a lot.
Yeah.
Rice is not chasing as much this year. He's putting his mouth where the bat is, and he's not chasing as much. So he's done well for this team. He's a leader.
Yes, he is. All right, we're going to take a quick break before we get into what this series will look like. We will be right back. All right, welcome back. So, I always love to start off with these pitching matchups.
Mhm.
So obviously we just talked a little bit about how pitching has been great in Philly. So first game we have Anthony Kay and Jesus Luzardo, who has been a strikeout machine. I know you mentioned his stats don't look as great, but he's got 78 strikeouts
Mhm.
when I did this. And then Sean Burke versus Andrew Painter. And then David Sandlin versus Aaron Nola. That'll be an interesting one because Sandlin just kind of came back to earth after his last game with the Twins. So let's talk about these three pitchers specifically and what we're going to see.
Well, I think you'll see Anthony Kay throw a no-hitter through 4 or 5 innings.
Okay, hey, I'm going to that game, so that would be perfect for me personally.
His all right, so I looked up his stats. Batting average against K lefties, 0.098, a 207 on base percentage. That's number one. Number two, whenever the Phillies go up against someone they don't know, they look lost.
Hmm.
They make the guy look like a Cy Young Award winner. I think that's what's going to happen on Friday when you're there, Crystal.
Well, I mean,
Anthony
to be
Key.
fair, I don't think they've really seen any of these guys because
No.
Sandlin has pitched 2 games. He just came up. Sean's still relatively new. I don't think you've seen him either. So,
It's not beyond the realm of possibility that the Phillies score 3 runs. I'll give him this, 6 runs in 3 games
oof.
because they don't know these guys. And
Yeah.
Anthony Key is great against lefties.
Hmm.
That's the biggest frustration Phillies fans have. I don't know if they have, if they look at video and say, what does this guy throw? It just boggles my mind when they have a guy who they haven't seen. They've got to have video and tape him in somewhere. And do they do their homework? Does Kevin Long help them? Boggles the mind. I don't know. And it's very frustrating. Painter, like I said, you know, that could be, I have question marks next to both of those games
Yeah, he's
because
had a
I
rough
don't know.
start.
They're righties, but they haven't seen them. So is it a possibility they scored 2 runs off these guys because they don't know them? Yes. Is it possible Painter and Nola only last like Nola did last night? He threw 96 pitches in 5 innings. The bullpen
Oh,
pitched well and they got the win 3-2. Um, so it's going to be an interesting series to watch. Pardon me, on Sunday. I'm liking this game tonight. I don't know if we can talk about tonight.
no, that's fine. Go for it.
Walker Buehler versus Christopher Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez is like a third of an inning away from moving up to, I think, sixth place in the consecutive shutout innings. If he pitches 3 shutout innings, I think he moves up to fourth. You know, he's just absolutely amazing. Walker Buehler, now they know them. They know Walker Buehler. They've
Mhm.
hit against him many times. I have predicted on my podcast on Sunday that the Phillies bats would break out somewhat on this homestand. Tonight is the night to do it with Sanchez pitching. Um, they have to do it. They just have to do it. Thursday, Wheeler versus Giolito. Giolito's only had 3 starts. He got a 4.97 ERA. Zach's at 2.27. Was very, very rare of Zach to do what he did last game by giving up 4 solo shots. That was Aaronola-esque by giving up 4 solo shots. So yeah, I think the Phillies could potentially sweep by winning tonight and tomorrow. The weekend, yes. I think they lose to Anthony Kay. And I just don't know. I just don't know. Now, the biggest thing, though, I looked at the White Sox lineup is no one to be scared of. There really isn't. Murakami's out
Murakami is out.
with the hammy. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. Let's put it that way. I can't predict.
Well, this is kind of where Miguel Vargas and Colson Montgomery come in, because Miguel Vargas has been on a tear. Miguel's been great. He really put in the work in the off season, and you could kind of tell by spring training that it was kind of starting to hit. And he's just been great. I think he's kind of stepped in. They've already made shirts, which I think was the jinx. They resurrected the Southside Hitman thing, and
Hmm.
they put Murakami, Miguel Vargas, and Colson Montgomery as the 3 new hitmen, and then Murakami has a grade 2 hamstring
Yes,
tear. So I was like, well, that kind of
that was,
jinxed it,
yeah.
but okay. But
So I'll have to watch for that. I'll have to watch for those 2 guys. Yeah, because
yeah,
again, I don't watch a lot of American League. Um, it's mostly the Phillies and the National League East. But you know what? I will listen. They're going to be here this weekend. I have time to watch baseball, so I'll be watching these. I'll be watching. I'll be interested to see how it all turns out.
they're having a rough series with the Twins. They've
Yeah,
already lost 2, which was a bummer, and they just swept the Tigers. So it's been kind of this weird whirlwind. I'm
yeah.
convinced that they're just really bad on the road and they excel at home.
And it's, that is a possibility. And I was looking also, if I can find it, I would switch glasses. This is great. I went to the eye doctor yesterday. These are my computer glasses. Now these are my reading glasses. And my reading glasses need some adjustment too. I'm trying to look at what I saw here. Oh yeah, I did. Day games, Nola is 1-3. So that's something to look at too for Sunday. It's an afternoon game, and for some reason, already 1-3 in the early part of the season, that doesn't bode well. So, that's an interesting statistic I found.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And again, they're going against David Sandlin, who his first game gave up an early home run, an early solo home run, and then went pretty deep, very, very economical with his pitching too, but went very deep, took out the next 18 batters. Um,
Wow.
like it was nothing. It was kind of wild. Like it didn't feel real. And then he kind of was humbled a bit against the Twins,
Okay.
but at the same time, still didn't do a bad job.
Is
And
he,
again, he's brand new.
how old is this guy?
I think 24.
So he's young.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's learning kind of like Painter.
Yeah.
The system, especially, and then, the interleague games, when you haven't played against these teams. So, yeah, it should be interesting to watch for sure.
That's what I like. The Sean Burke Andrew Painter matchup is pretty good too because Sean's again very young. This is I think just his second season now with the White Sox, maybe.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Again, Phillies bats don't perform well against pitchers they don't know. So that's going to be interesting.
So with that, who do you feel like on the Phillies would be the biggest threat to the White Sox? I mean, obviously we've got the Schwarbombs and the excellent, excellent batters, but do you feel like there's a certain player that's going to be more of a threat to this team?
Well, with Bryce playing pretty well consistently, I would look for Bryce to really have a decent series against them, especially against the two righties, the second and third game. Um, the rest of the lineup really isn't hitting Crystal. So it's hard to say. It's kind of day by day with them to see who gets hot. Turner finally had a hit yesterday. Garcia had a hit. Wow. Okay, he had a hit. Um, uh, Stott, as a lefty, he doesn't play well. Now, Brandon Marsh, he's the guy right now.
Hmm.
He's hitting righties and lefties. So again, if Marsh can get on, I would hope to see Marsh possibly move up. I think Marsh could hit number two or number three in that lineup with Harper behind him at four to get some guys moving on the base paths. You know, I think that would be. I don't think Mattingly will do it, but I think Marsh does not need to bat below five right now because he's hitting. He was 4 for 4 last night. So he needs to get further up in the lineup so these guys who are hitting him in are getting RBIs, Schwarber and Harper, can hopefully get the run production up there. Could you put Turner now? He got a hit yesterday. Okay, because he moved back up to number one and Schwarber number two and Harper number three, and then maybe put Marsh at four. Who knows? I would like to see something like that happen though. So Brandon Marsh is the one to look out for too, especially against the righties the last two games of the season.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch when I kind of catch highlights of him.
He's such a team player. He's such a fun guy to watch and play. You hear his interviews. He just loves the game. He
Mhm.
loves being on that field. It's just a lot of fun for him.
So what do the Phillies need to do to take this series? And I know before I hit record, we were talking about the very low percentage of hits these Phillies have had. So what do they need to do to take this series?
They just need to have good at bats and swing at really good pitches. They need to, last night Harper had the bases loaded with two outs and he swung at a pitch up and away and grounded the ball to second.
White Sox
And
did
he,
something very
he
similar.
he's better than, if he waits on that pitch and goes with the pitch, that's a double down the line and scores 3 runs.
Mhm.
So they have to do better with this. They have to do better with going with the pitch. And you know what? You watch Adolis Garcia swing. He's am I a batting coach? No, but I've watched the game for years. I've played a little bit, right? When you swing too hard, what happens? Here's a dugout mug, okay? Here's my bat. When you swing too hard, what happens? Your head comes up. Your head, you can't keep driving the ball.
Yeah.
That's
You
just
do a
normal
whole
body
spin.
mechanics. Yes. If you sit there and meet the ball, guess what? With his strength and his power, he could hit 30 home runs at Citizens Bank Park. They were hoping for 20. They just have to just calm themselves down at the plate, make contact. You watch the frustration is watching other teams make contact, and these
Hmm.
guys aren't doing that. So, making contact. Uh, they get Brandon Marsh getting on base. Um, listen, it's again, it's all about the pitching. Sanchez tonight, Wheeler tomorrow, and then for this weekend series, it's a crapshoot with Luzardo and Painter and Nova. It really is. Um, Nola has had two, interestingly enough, two really decent starts in a row. That's not like him. He'll go one. That's why I think he'll be 500 because he usually goes one good, one bad, one good, one bad. So we'll see. Painter again is still learning. We'll see. And then Luzardo, if there is anybody else starting besides Anthony Kay, I think the Phillies win tonight. Win Friday night. But I don't think that's going to happen.
So this might have probably already been answered, but I always like to ask what fears you have heading into this series. And it feels like a lot of what we've talked about in this portion have been your fears. So do you have any other thoughts on that?
No, it's just the lefties, against the one game again against Anthony Kay Friday. That's it. The other ones, the lefties aren't our guys right now. With Schwarber, and he's got to stop swinging at crap too. That's the only issue too. He's swinging at just he's getting fooled and he's striking out, looking. I'm like, what are you doing? Just swing, make contact. So it's just focusing on doing your homework. Hopefully, watching what these guys throw, and then just being ready to make decent swings. Um, I've seen this team. We've all seen this team score runs when they're not trying to hit home runs, and that's what they need to start doing.
Yeah, as a baseball slash softball mom for the last nearly 12 years now, when I see just kids taking hacks at balls above their heads, I I do this now with major league players, especially because most of them are now way younger than me, and I could be their mother. Maybe I would have been like a teen pregnancy, but like I could be their mothers. I will sit there at a game and I'm just like, you got to take that bat off your shoulder. Or they'll be like on deck and I'm like, are you watching what that pitcher's throwing? Are we practicing our swings? And it's just funny taking in a baseball game with me because I'm very much just mothering these millionaires in their 20s about what they need to do.
And Krista, you and I would make a great combination because you're the mother and I'm the old grumpy grandpa,
Exactly.
right?
That's but when my grandpa will come to games, he is very grumpy at these kids and he's like, what are these kids doing?
Oh, exactly. I can't. That's what I do. And my wife tells me, it's a game, one game, calm down. I know, but, and I go nuts.
We both almost got kicked out of a youth basketball game about 10 years ago because my grandpa is just making
Yeah.
comments
Yeah.
about everything, and the refs kind of side-eyeing him. And then at one point, I yell out, "Ball don't lie." Again, 10-year-olds playing probably, and the ref again, just like looking over. Finally, he's like, "You two need to chill." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
What did you just do? Yeah.
we are criticizing children."
Yes. Yes.
So I told him, I was like, Poppy, we can't attend because we feed off of each other too.
Yeah,
That's the
I'm
thing.
sure
Like
you
we
do.
feed off of each other. So I was like, Poppy,
Absolutely.
we can't come to Harrison's basketball games anymore. We're gonna get kicked out and be an embarrassment to the whole family.
That's right.
So we're not allowed to do that. So before we kind of close, moving away from our teams,
Mhm.
it's just where I love to ask where you're at with baseball in general this season.
I tell people, first things first, I love watching the younger players do well. Those who had just coming into the league, the
Hmm.
Mizorowskis, who, albeit he got into the All-Star game last year, which is ridiculous. The guy can throw. Now, can he sustain this 102, 103? I don't know. We'll see. But I like seeing these younger players, the Crawfords, the Painters, on the Phillies, across the entire league. Murakami. So it's fun for me as a baseball fan to watch the excitement that these young kids bring to the game. So that's what's fun for me in general. Specifically, um, looking at always like to look at the trade deadline, right? Not much going on. Who's going to make what moves? Who's going to sell? Who's going to buy? The Phillies are going to try to trade, and get that right-handed power bat, whoever that is. Who are they going to give up? What are the Braves going to do? Are they going to? Well, here's a big one. Tarek Skubal. I do not want to see him go to the Dodgers. The
Yeah,
Dodgers
no,
don't need any more, Crystal.
they don't. They have enough. They have
They have
enough.
enough. But could they do it? Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I look forward to all of that. Um, Personally, I'm looking forward to going to the All-Star game. I
Yes.
am going to the All-Star game.
Awesome.
Home
Awesome.
Run Derby, Fan Fest, combination, uh, birthday, Hanukkah, Christmas, Father's Day,
It's just a little bit everything.
everything from my daughters and my wife. So I'm thankful for that. I can't wait to go. Um, Home Run Derby. I mean, Schwarber. Could you see Schwarber and Harper on different sides of the bracket going against each other at the All-Star game in Philly? So
Yeah.
that's going to be fun. Always love the All-Star game. I don't care. Back before you were born, it meant something, right? Just that rivalry of who's going to win.
Hmm.
Um, and don't know how much pride it is, but more about for the fans seeing these pitchers and these players that you don't normally get to see.
Hmm.
Um, and I get to see it, luckily, in my home ballpark for the first time. So that's for me. I'm looking forward to that. I think the Braves are going to win the NL East. I think the Cubs are going to end up winning the Central, surprisingly. The Dodgers, we
Yeah,
know.
that's kind of unlocked.
Um, The Rays, I believe, are going to win the AL East. Can the Guardians or even the White Sox win the AL Central? And can the A's win the West?
I
That
would love to see the A's win the West.
How cool a story is that?
Yeah.
If they move to Sacramento of all places and win a division title the second year there, that would be amazing to me. So lots of things to look forward to. That's why I love baseball. There's so much
Hmm.
going on all at once and so much to look forward to as the season progresses.
Yeah, for the first time in a very long time, I feel like the White Sox could send multiple people to the All-Star game, which doesn't register because we had one person last year and it was a pitcher only because they had to send one.
Right, exactly. Right. You have to send one at least.
And this year we could very easily send multiple players to the
Yeah.
All-Star game.
No, and that's what's exciting. Listen, and you're still in you're still in a fight for the division. That's exciting, especially for teams who haven't been there in a long time. Listen, I lived outside of Chicago for several years. I went to Comiskey Park when they were decent. I was even there when Tom Seaver pitched, my boy.
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, that was oh my gosh, Tom Seaver's coming to Chicago. We got to go to a game, and I got to watch him pitch. So yeah, that's what's fun. It's all about baseball. It's about you just don't know. Take it day
Hmm.
by day,
Yeah,
right?
the last episode we were talking about a lot of the players that are good for baseball and that Murakami has brought in so many new fans because he's kind of obviously he's not Shohei level, but I remember Shohei bringing in so many fans, and now Murakami is bringing in so
Yeah.
many fans. It's my husband sent me this tweet of someone who went to Japan, like he was visiting Japan, and he saw so many White Sox hats. And so many people were talking about Murakami because he was from Chicago. He was wearing a Sox hat, and he was like, everyone like would see Chicago and immediately go, "Oh my gosh, Chicago White Sox, Murakami. This is amazing." Like everyone was talking to him about Murakami, and I was like, "This is completely across the country. I mean, the whole world. This is
Hmm.
the other side of the world that we're on, and these people are just raving about him."
They, yeah, the Japanese they love their baseball. The
They
Japanese
do.
baseball is huge, right? So yeah, how cool is that? That another Japanese player. It's too bad they again. He 20 what is he? What was he? 20 homers.
Yeah, 20 homers before he
So
gets
he's
that
got to
injured.
come back. It won't be for another couple, 3 weeks, maybe a month. He'll hit 50, hopefully. Maybe he'll get hot again.
Yeah,
So how cool is that?
yeah,
Again, something to look forward to, especially if they Sox stay in the race and he comes back when they're still in the race. So that'll be fun.
yeah. Every single day I check to see, like you said, you constantly are checking to see if the Braves are losing. I'm constantly checking to see if the Guardians are losing.
Yeah.
Like I was
Mhm.
actively rooting for the Red Sox over the weekend, and that is not something I do. So for me to be rooting for a Boston team, I was just like, come on, I just need the Guardians to be knocked down a peg
Yes.
because
It'll be again, you never know at this stage of the game. My co-host when I podcast this evening, he's a Tigers fan. And at the end of last season, oh, you got it in the bag. Oh my gosh, what
they
happened?
imploded. Yes.
It
We
was
just
just
swept
like,
them. The White Sox just swept the Tigers.
oh my gosh.
I was
Yeah,
there for two of those three games. That was a lot of fun.
I'm sure it was.
So
Absolutely.
our mascot came out with a broom at the end of the game and was
Nice.
sweeping around the diamond and
Nice.
like this is fun. This is a
That's
blast.
it's fun. Yeah,
Winning is fun.
absolutely.
Well, that's what I've got for you. Will you
Okay,
please just remind people where they can find you and your podcast and anything
sure.
else?
Sure. So at Phil's Fanatic, PhilsFanatic on Twitter, X. Tonight, most every Wednesday, I'm with Lou Gamelin on the Extravaganza with Lou and Mitch on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Tonight we have the Philly Stripe Hype podcasts as guests coming on to talk about the Phillies. We also will talk about other sports. So we're going to briefly hit tonight all the major sports. There's always something going on, right, Crystal?
Of course.
Always.
Yeah, always.
Um, and that's it. So we often have, listen, I had a great guest on last week. I'm actually going to go see his book talk a week from 2 weeks from today.
Oh, nice.
Tim Brown wrote a book about Nolan Ryan and had him on last week. It was awesome. All of our shows are on Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and they're archived. So if people want to hear that, watch that podcast, you're welcome to it.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you so much. Best of luck in this series. I hope Philly doesn't get too mad when I show up in my Murakami jersey.
No, no, they will embrace you and probably ask you, how's he doing?
Yeah. It's the Japanese jersey too. Like it's his last name is in Japanese like the Japanese
And do you know where your seats are?
well so no, we have to buy them like day of. I got blocked because of my Chicago, Illinois zip code. They
Oh
wouldn't let
my
me buy
God.
tickets on the Phillies website. So we were like, well, we're gonna have to get our tickets kind of day of
You'll be able to get in.
on
You'll
like
be
a yeah. Yeah, but like on a like a StubHub or a
Yeah,
market
or
like
game
that.
time or whatever. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they blocked my zip
I
code.
don't they do that. Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
they were like, you're not in the tri-state. And it didn't help that, I'm picking a game where it's a Chicago team and I've got an Illinois zip code. So that
Yeah.
didn't help my
I get
cause,
it.
but they were like, "You're not in the tri-state." And my husband's like, "Do you know anyone in Philly that you would trust to buy tickets?" And I was like, "It's fine. We'll get them. Like, I'm
You'll get
not
in.
worried about it." But
Yeah, you'll get in.
yeah, this is the first time I've been to that park, so I'm really
You'll
excited.
you'll love it. The concourse is great. Um, go get a cheesesteak.
That's my
Um,
son's first agenda item is a cheesesteak.
Tony Lips is good. Yeah, you'll have a good time. See the statues, the Wall of Fame, that kind of thing. It's all good. And
Yeah,
a fanatic.
I'm giving myself some extra time. That's what I love to do when I check out the new parks, is
Yeah,
just give myself that time to
walk
walk
around
around and see
the
things. So
concourse. Yeah, for sure.
excited. All right. Well, again, thank you so much. Always a
Thanks for
pleasure.
having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Take care.